Hey, Travis here, Steven Struck Power. Today we're doing a power steering pump on a 99 Dodge pickup. This is the pump here. We actually have it off right now. It's really hard to film on the truck, but I'll explain to you what we've done so far. Is we left it hooked to the vacuum pump, and you just pull the two bolts out of the vacuum pump, one here, and then there's an oil line going to that as well, and then you can just unhook the hoses and pull the whole thing out, and it's much easier to do out here on the bench. The second reason we do that is this is a real common problem with these year of pickups, is where the pump hooks in to the vacuum pump, it will leak. Here there's a seal here, and there's a repair kit that we have. As you can see, this one's actually been leaking anyway, but it's a good thing to do while you're doing it, because it is a common problem. If it's not leaking, it will. And so we pull the whole thing off, and we'll split it here on the bench and go through it. So let's get at it. Alright, we'll go ahead and remove these bolts for the power steering pump. 15mm end wrench or socket, whichever you prefer. Get those off. One more on the back side. Sometimes you'll pull a stud with it, but right now they're coming undone. So. Full of grease. Alright. Okay, got the bolts undone, and apart it comes. So this was bad already, the power steering pump. I'll show you what we're going to do with the vacuum pump, so we'll put that aside. The vacuum pump, this will come apart right here. This piece will come out. There's a seal in there that keeps the oil, engine oil, from coming out this way, which this one is not working properly, leaking anyway. Yeah, we'll reseal it and get the new pump on there, and then we don't have any problems, because a lot of times you'll put a pump on and not reseal this, and it'll still leak out engine oil right here. Okay, so we got power steering pump off of there. Go ahead and loosen this vacuum pump bolt. There's two of these. Then we'll split that apart. We got a little torch running in the background on another job. Yeah, that's starting to, housing's starting to split right there, so you just gotta be careful you don't lose the guts out of there. careful not to gouge nothing up. Yeah, like so. This is the vacuum pump side. We're leaving that alone. Nothing wrong there really. They're just going to reseal this O-ring and the seal. So we'll be resealing here and this seal piece in here. Alright, so we got it flipped up on its end right here. See if you can see that real good. So we're trying to knock this out. Usually what I do, just take a socket and run down in here. Whatever works for you, but like so. So we'll carefully remove that. And what you want to be careful of is this little, basically cog or gear here. That's where your power steering pump is going to ride. So you want to make sure you get that back in there correctly. That sat on top of that. So we'll go ahead and clean this up. But we have an O-ring right here. We have a lip seal right here. And then a little bigger O-ring that goes on the vacuum pump side. And we'll clean it up and put her back together. Okay, back at it. As I was cleaning this off, removing this O-ring, it's actually got a bunch of silicone on here, so it's been apart before, resealed with silicone apparently. We'll dig that O-ring out of there without running it through my finger, hopefully. You can kind of see the silicone on there. And then this lip seal goes in from the back side because we're wanting to seal the oil from coming out of the gap, so staying in the motor. So we'll go ahead and knock that out, hopefully. Doesn't take much, but there we go. Nice and hard and brittle, so definitely our leaking problem. Okay, clean this up. Go over to the solvent tank and wash that up and get it nice and clean so we can put our O-rings back on. Alright, just getting back to this. Showed you all the silicone that was on that, and I'm still scraping it off. So if that's your favorite thing to use, then you know, your thing, but it sure is hard to get everything scraped off so you can redo something. So if you look down in this hole here, I don't know if you can, this is all the silicone that was in there. We're gonna have to dig out of there. It doesn't seem to be coming apart very good, so more cleaning. Alright, got to resort to some air tools. I've been digging at this. I can't really get it any better than that, so without trying to actually machine the thing, we're just going to go in here. Just do a little at a time. There, much better. I don't know, see in there, but at least we're shiny now. No more silicone. It has its place, just don't know what it is. Get that cleaned out, that wiped off. Okay, so we got this piece It's going to go together. Gonna got the lip seal going in from the back side. That there, we got a bushing driver here. I'm just gonna tap that in. Let's check it every now and then, make sure it's going straight. Basically, you're just going to go till that bottoms out. We got a little bit left to go, but we're about there. Okay, lip seal in. Now we'll go with this O-ring that was all siliconed up. Goes right there, and then this little tiny one here will go on the vacuum pump. So got our O-ring there, got our lip seal in there, and then of course the vacuum pump gasket out of this kit. This is actually a Dorman kit, 904-335. A lot of different people make them, but that's the one we have our hands on at the moment. So we're going to clean up this little gear here, and that'll drop down in the bottom so that we can engage our power steering pump with it. And then that piece will go on top that direction. And of course we'll lube all this up. I like using Lubriplate 105 for most assembly stuff, so that's what we'll be using. Let me get this all rigged up here and we'll show you how it goes back together. Okay, so I got the gear piece down in there. I'll go ahead and lube this up. Clean my hands. We use starting fluid for that, so. Doesn't smell great, but it works. Just lube up that seal real good. We'll go ahead and get some down on the bore too. So, lubed up inside. This will go right down, like so. See that real good. Right there. Another bushing driver that just fits that. Go ahead and use the tool for that. And we'll just tap it in. In there, got just a little bit more to go. And you can hear it bottom out. Okay, we're there. This gear does flop around in there. Biggest thing is you just got to catch the cog before you put it together on the vacuum pump so you don't break anything. Got our lip seal in. So now we'll take this tiny seal that was in the kit. It'll go right here on the vacuum pump. Right there. Put a little white grease on that just to let it be able to move a little bit, slide on it without damaging it. Like so. Then we'll just put her together. Well, there's a dowel pin right there. You want to make sure you get the line properly. Down right there. And this is where we need to line up the cog. I don't know if we can see all that in there, but basically this has got to go in the slot. So we'll get it up in there, kind of rotate the thing till it will spline up. It's a little temperamental, so you'll have to fight with it a little bit. Like so. We're splined up. Now, just need to get that dowel lined up. Unspline just a little bit. Right there. Okay, we're together. So we're going to just put our 2 bolts back in, and then we can go ahead and mount the new power steering pump. Alright, we're just getting our bolts in here. Go ahead and snug that up. Just alternate them back and forth, just make sure you get it nice and flush. Okay, we are good. We'll get that pump mounted up. Okay, getting ready to put this power steering pump on. Of course, the new one doesn't come with studs. Getting chintzy. So anyway, we're going to pull these ones, and this one's already loose, and move them to the new pump. Handy dandy stud puller. Just slides down over the top and locks on. Okay, we'll pull them, go ahead and get them installed on the new pump, and hopefully we'll be ready to mount it back together. Alright, just putting the pump back in. You need to line up the studs, obviously, but what you want to be careful of, and which I fought there for a little bit, was when you get to the end, shortly before it's... Alright, so the camera died, don't know where we left off, but basically we're putting the pump back on. What I was saying when it died is that you just need to make sure that you get the cog in here lined up just by turning this. So as you slide the pump in, don't try and pull it in with the nuts, because you'll break something. You want to make sure it lines up with the crisscross cog in there. They should go up flush without pulling on the nuts or anything. So like so, and we'll go ahead and tighten these up, and then we'll just drop that back in. We got the new vacuum pump gasket right there, and mount that whole thing back in there, and then hook up the lines, fill it up with fluid. So that's how we always do them here. Maybe you do it a different way, but I find it very easy to be able to just pull the whole thing out and do it on the bench. And like I said, this seal here in the bottom is a common problem, and if you don't take care of that now while you're doing it, it will leak if it's not already. So there you have it, vacuum pump, power steering pump. replace and rebuild. Thanks for watching.